Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Hill. I just wanted to update you guys on a couple of things. Number one, I'm sure that, as you know, we're not going to be returning back to the school for the rest of the school year, which is upsetting for myself and Mrs. Lackey. We really wanted to end this year on a really good note and see all of you guys, but the main thing is that you guys stay safe and continue to learn digitally while we're apart, and hopefully we can see each other again next year. Um, so on this assignment, I made things kind of a little bit easier for you guys this week. I feel like you're going to be doing the week 5 figurative language quiz. This is the only assignment for this week for any of our classes, except for RTI. If you have RTI, obviously you have other classwork, but um, week 5 figurative language quiz, you click on, you watch my video. If you're already listening, of course, you're doing what you're supposed to do, and then you answer the questions on the Google form. This will count as 2 grades. One, did you watch Miss Hill's video? And two, how did you do on the quiz? Okay, so let's go ahead and click the digital learning slideshow. This is a slideshow that's going to help you as you do your assignment. It's a review. You guys can do this. You know this. We've been over it before. One thing in this unit is review. We're going to be reviewing things. A lot of this stuff will be circled in. So, number one, what are the types of figurative language we will cover? I'm going to cover simile, metaphor, hyperbole, onomatopoeia, personification, alliteration, and assonance. The toast jumped out of the toaster. That is a personification. Simile. Simile is a comparison of two unlike things using like or as. His feet were as big as boats. She was as fast as lightning. So, as big as boats. She was as fast as lightning. We could also say his feet were like boats. All right. Metaphor. A metaphor states that one thing is something else. It does not use like or as. It says one thing is something else. So the world is a stage, the class is a circus. Okay, we're comparing the class to a circus and the world to a stage. The next slide, hyperbole. A statement of extreme exaggeration to show emphasis. Does not always compare to unlike things. Okay, sometimes it doesn't compare to unlike things. A hyperbole is just something that's over exaggerated. For example, I could eat a horse, or my backpack weighs a ton. Next, onomatopoeia. Words that make a sound. Whack, sniff, varoom. Next is personification, giving human characteristics to everyday ideas, objects, and animals. The sun danced across the sky. The leaves raced to the ground. The sun really can't dance, and the leaves really can't run or race. We use that as an example in order to bring these things to life in our poetry. Alliteration. Alliteration is a repetition of the same letter at the beginning of a succession of words. For example, the tutor who tooted a flute tried to tutor two fluters to toot. She said to their tutor, "It is harder to toot or to toot two fluters to toot." Yeah, I totally messed that up. Maybe you guys can do it better. The last thing is an allusion. It's a reference to a well known person, place, or thing. His muscles reminded me of Aquaman. Aquaman's a well known person, and I'm using him to describe this guy's muscles. That is an allusion. So that's the end of my slideshow. while you guys are taking your quiz, you're more than welcome to go back to the slideshow for a reference to see the answers or get help on your answers. The quiz, I'll go over that really quickly. You click here, it's going to open up your quiz. And first of all, I need your first and last name. I also need you to put if you have Mrs. Hill or Miss Lackey, and what class period you have us. The first question are what two things did Mrs. Hill compare when explaining a simile during her video? And you'll answer what is a metaphor? What is an onomatopoeia? What is an illusion? What is personification? What is a simile? What is a hyperbole? What is an example of alliteration? Her hair is silk. This is an example of, and then you let me know. The water well is as dry as a bone. This is an example of, and then you let me know. My dad is a bear without his coffee. This is an example of, her hair reminded me of Goldilocks. Is an example of, what is not an example of an onomatopoeia? The firework exploded in the air, making a big boom in the air. This is an example of, Sally sells seashells by the seashore. This is an example of, she is a busy bee. This is an example of, which is not an example of alliteration. Bang, the box dropped to the ground. This is an example of, she is as cold as a cucumber. This is an example of. And then you submit, and it will automatically send Miss Lackey and I your grade. I hope this makes things a little bit easier on you as we go into the 5th week of digital learning. We really miss you guys. I hope that we can see you very soon. Have a great rest of the week.